Hey, Dilla's here. So this is part 8 of my late blooming lesbian journey. So Holly popped into my life. So here's an interesting thing about Holly. I met Holly in a lesbian Facebook group in 2022. However, we didn't get together because I was separating from my ex-wife and she was divorcing her ex-wife. So timing was not good at all. However, excuse me. um, at that point in time, she inboxed me because I think I posted something about getting a certification in motivational speaking, something to that effect. I can't even remember. And so we spoke for like maybe 5 seconds inbox on Facebook. I went my way, she went her way. It's fast forward to 2024. We reconnected again. I had broken up with my ex for the final time. Couldn't deal with it no more. The one that I was just talking about in part 7 that we called Savannah. And she pretty much saw a picture of me. My hair was like this, really curly. I had dyed it blonde for like the 15,000 quadrillion time. And she liked my picture. On Facebook, she said, "Great pic." I said, "Thank you." She says, "Happy pre-Friday," because it was a Thursday. And I was like, "Thanks, appreciate that." So went to lunch with a friend of mine, or coffee, another entrepreneur, and we were talking about relationships and my ex and all this other kind of stuff, that I needed to be treated like a queen, that I'm a prize. And she had me crying. And I was like, "Yeah, you're right." And she said, "Dillis, I have a feeling your person's coming." I'm like, "Huh?" She goes, "Yeah, your person, she's coming like any day now." And like I said, I'm intuitive, and a majority of my friends are intuitive as well. And there was something inside me that was just like, damn, I feel something is going to happen. Somebody's coming. I don't know what it is, who it is, whatever the case may be. Mind you, never felt that before. So I got back home, and I just had a feeling she was going to inbox me because she put that great comment stuff. And she did later on. She was like, "Hey, we met back in 2022, blah, blah, blah. How you doing?" And I was like, "Who the fuck is this?" Because I didn't remember. So I went on her page and I'm like, "Okay, we are Facebook friends." And then I scrolled up the inbox conversations and I found the conversations between me and her from 2022. And I heard her voice, but I didn't remember who she was. Crazy, right? So we started talking again, catching up about her life, my life, the things that were going on, my healing journey, her healing journey, all the things. And she says that, she asked me what I do. I said I make gemstone bracelets and waist beads for protection, healing, and all that good stuff. And she says she carries crystals in her pocket. And she took a picture of them. I'm like, well, instead of taking all those crystals and putting in your pocket, I could just make you a bracelet. And she was like, "Okay, cool." I said, "I just have to figure out what you need it for, and I can make it for you." And so I said, "Well, here's my number," or whatever the case may be. Um, let's keep in contact with each other. She had told me she went through having a full blown hysterectomy. I told her I had a partial hysterectomy. She told me she'd been divorced twice. I told her I've been divorced 3 times. And I told her I was reading a book from this couple called Matt and Ash, and they were on TikTok. And it was about healing your inner child and healing your relationship at the same time. And I took a picture of the book and I sent it to her. And she hits me back up, "Woman, I have the same book." And I was like, "You fucking lying. You shitting me." She's like, "No, I do." So she was at work, time went on, and then around 4:30, I wanted to go to Popeyes and get some chicken. And I was walking into my room to get my sandals. And I'm like, I wonder if Holly got home safe. I wonder if she's cooking. And as soon as I said that thing, my text message goes off. I was like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me. That cannot be her texting me." And it sure was. So she texted me, and I was like, "Hey, I was just thinking about you. I was wondering if you got home safe," because I did tell her, get home safe when she told me she was even to go from work to home. And I said, "I was thinking about you, wonder if you got home safe and what you're cooking." She said, "Did get home safe, not cooking today. I think she was going out with friends or whatever." Yeah, she was going out with friends. And so she takes a picture of the book. So yes, she wasn't lying. We had the same book. So at that point, we just started talking, catching up about life, things that were going on. And she mentioned her deal breakers, and she mentioned her love language: acts of service, physical touch, quality time. We sort of kind of have the same love language, but mine includes words of affirmations. She told me what her deal breakers was pretty much what mine was, and we started talking like that again. And she was like, "It's good to talk to you again." I said, "Likewise," but I didn't remember who the fuck you were. So that was September of 2024. By November of, well, before we get into November, um, she's pretty much intuitive like myself, and I never had anyone as intuitive as me, that's authentically intuitive as me, not beating around the bush or anything like that. So she can feel when something was wrong with me, she can feel when something's off, and that scared the shit out of me because it triggered me from the narcissist, because she would do shit like that. So I told her I couldn't connect with her in that way. It was too much for me. It triggered me. I went down through an emotional spiral, and I blocked her on everything. I didn't even give her a chance to be like, "But hey, no, this is this is this." So that was in October. I think the beginning of October. So by October 13th, 14th, I'd been talking to other people, nothing serious or anything like that. And I was doing a live on my YouTube channel, and my roommate gives me a card. It was a card from Holly. She said that she sent me a card. It was snail mail. And the card had said, "Hey Dillis, you asked me about myself, who I am as a person." So she started naming specific things: caring, compassion, understanding, loving, yada, 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 yada. She didn't mean to unnerve me in the way that she did. She apologizes, and can she have a do over? I thought that was sweet for you to go out your way to go through all your text messages after we'd spoken. She told me she had to go through her text messages to get my address to send me the card. So I thought that was sweet. So we started talking again after that point on. She was like, "Hey, very intuitive. And so I know when there's disruption in the force with people around me, it's just not you, but it's my friends, it's my family." And she explained it. So I was like, "Okay, cool. But I want to let you know that it triggered me due to the abuse I experienced in the past." So I was impulsive, and I was just like, "Fuck this, I can't do this," so on and so forth. And she was understanding. And so we decided to meet, and I came to Wilmington in November. She flew me into Wilmington in November. I came the first week in November. Then I came back in for Thanksgiving, and she made some collard greens and sweet potato. And I was like, "You sure you ain't black?" And so, it blooms into a beautiful relationship. And then I moved here in March of this year, 2025, and I'm working as a victims advocate at domestic violence shelter. I'm actually making waist beads and bracelets and selling them at vendor markets. She is exceptionally supportive of me, my entrepreneurship. We both decided that I would get a job for sure because, bills need to be paid. And I didn't want her to feel as if though, like, I was just sitting here not doing anything, because entrepreneurship is hard. And so our relationship is great. We have moments of ups and downs like everyone else, but we made a commitment to each other. And there's one thing that Holly always said to me before was, "Fuck with me, stuff with me." So I got rings that says "fuck with me, stuff with me." And just navigating through what a relationship can look like for us, always having hard, uncomfortable conversations with love and respect. And as you can see, she's funny as fuck, so she keeps me laughing. I inherited the fur baby, so I'm a fur mommy, and I love them so much, Willie and Polly. And it's just a different dynamic and different vibe, and I'm happy.